bring on board Porinju Veliyath, who's Managing Director and Portfolio Manager, Equity Intelligence India, joining us. It's been a while, Porinju, since we've spoken to you here on ET Now. Let me first start off by how you're looking at the small and mid-cap space, because that's really your forte. You believe that balance sheets look good, there's earnings resilience visible, at least Q4 earnings were strong, and do you believe that risk reward looks decent, or would you currently say that we're largely fair where markets are?
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Very good morning.
Yeah, the small and mid cap, as all of us know, in the last 2 years, they have corrected very well. Earlier, it used to be, everyone used to feel the valuation. It was not comfortable. When down the previous 4 years, the way the markets moved, especially the small and mid caps, stocks going up by 5 times, 10 times, and some of them 20 and 30 times. So that was a very special 4 years of Indian stock market history, I would say. It may not repeat in the near future. So I think a lot of fresh money came into the markets. The SIPs were, flowing in, and a lot of people got carried away. And then the stocks are a lot of them are being operated or managed. So it has created into a real overbought, and I would say overvaluation kind of a structure. So that has corrected very well, but maybe there are still stocks to be worth correcting on a valuation basis, looking at the future earnings potential or the earnings visibility, I would say. So that way it has really bottomed out. Maybe in the last 2 months, you might have seen a lot of small and mid caps moving up by 20%, 30%, some of them 40 and 50%. Some special stocks have doubled in the last 2 months, like the Sterlites of the HFCLs of the world. So it's a very dynamic, interesting market out there. In general, I would say it's again time to cherry pick in the small and mid cap segment. It's going to be rewarding.
Hi, morning. I hope you are enjoying the rains in Kerala while we are not getting any rains in Mumbai. But within the small and mid cap space, where do you see the value now coming in? Because you are a value investor. Is there specific pockets that you're looking at, or specific sectors that you're looking at?
No specific sectors, speaking currently. Because more importantly, it's like, stocks have behaved differently in the last 2 years, even within the small and mid cap segment. There are companies, stocks which have corrected significantly by 40, 50, 60%. And some of them, there is earning visibility, there is growth coming in. So maybe there was some kind of temporary events or developments which has suppressed the earnings of these companies. And, market punishes very badly when there is a general trend of, small mid caps going down. When there is a lower earnings, lower numbers, people punish badly. So some of them very worthy businesses, well managed and, futuristic in nature. The valuations have come down by half. If you see the normalized earnings, maybe because of the temporary issues, there is a high PE currently. So there are stocks that way. There are companies which may be suffering because of this Gulf War happening. Commodity, maybe it's their feedstock, their raw material prices have shot up. They can't pass it on immediately. So those kind of temporary negatives could be an opportunity to buy into, worthy companies in small and mid caps. So it's more than a sector, or I don't want to tell any particular names. I see wonderful opportunities for cherry picking of stocks in the market.
And any cherry picking ideas, because your fund value investing has outperformed the benchmark Nifty in the last 3-4 months. So what is driving that outperformance?
In fact, I want to say we have underperformed the markets in the last 2 years. If you see the Nifty or Sensex or even the mid cap indices. But those things happens, with a special strategy of a fund manager. It may not work always. So there could be cycles of those kind of strategies. So we have been going through, of course, the last few months, there is a significant outperformance, as you rightly told, but that may be happening to many small mid-cap fund managers. So we are in line with that. And but more importantly, going for the future, now we have been evaluating the 12 years of Narendra Modi as PM. It's something, very every Indian should be proud of. Every knowledgeable Indian should be proud of, I would say, to be precise. And, the kind of, more than the numbers, now everybody talk about so many houses are built, so much is the UPI transactions, or so much is the Jan Dhan accounts, or the toilets built, or more than 11 crores. So if you list out that numbers, no doubt this is amazing. No other leader in this country could have done it. Of course, there is a backing of a strong political system currently, which is also a blessing for the nation. We can't afford, it is very easy to go the Sri Lanka or Bangladesh or kind of ways. We cannot afford it. We have to look after 1,400 million people. So India has been lucky to get a lion, I would say, like Narendra Modi as our leader, with a strong and stable politics in the last 12 years. And we have fully utilized that. Of course, there are things we have to improve. There are a long way to go in many aspects, like the judiciary, the bureaucratic, cholesterol, whatever we say, and the taxation fund. Actually, simplification is not happening, even though we are talking about it. And there are many things like the personal income tax still at very high, 40%, and even dividend taxes are still very high at 36%, reduced recently. So 36% on a second income tax. It's very high. We had it earlier 22%. Now it is increased to 36%. So there are certain things to be skewed and made more rational and reasonable and market friendly. We have a long way to go in the economy. Of course, we missed a lot to China in the 90s and later. We all know China was far behind India in the early 90s. Maybe 97, 98, our economy was very same per capita income or the GDP of the nation. And now where is India and where is China? It's a big question. But we have done a lot of work. A platform is created for a much higher growth and to give a competition to China. Even though we have to go a long way, we are just above $4 trillion economy. China has gone to $19 trillion economy. And, but see, we have doubled our per capita income in the last 12 years. It's not a small thing on a PPP basis or even otherwise. So, and the kind of reforms, big ticket reforms India has done, without which we would have been not in such a good shape. Of course, there are challenges even today, and tomorrow is going to be there more challenges. So it's I should congratulate the political leader of India, Sri Narendra Modi, for leading the way and taking strong and wonderful decisions, bold decisions, and for leading the country.
There's a lot of work which has been done on various sectors, whether it's semiconductors, whether it's PLI, and from a market's point of view, you've seen the expansion of the entire retail base as well. As a portfolio manager, how's that? How are you seeing the flows now? Means, are you seeing more investors now coming into various wealth categories, including PMS, which you manage? Has that increased a lot?
See, the market breadth has really gone up. Still, India, it's not a very, very big stock market, I would say, even though we have grown very big compared to the earlier periods. There are challenges, there are liquidity issues in the market when large funds try to sell or buy, the sensitivity of the price, it's very high. So, but we are evolving into a much bigger stock market. We are going to be a $10 trillion economy and, of course, more than a $10 trillion market cap. So we are on the way. We are moving very fast. And the equity investors are benefiting from all those developments happening, all those big ticket reforms, all the bold decisions this country is making. The value of India has gone up significantly in the global arena. People feel proud to say, I'm an Indian. The passport of India has got a more value today than maybe 15, 20 years ago. So we are in the right direction. We are a major, India is inevitable in the global arena. We are a very strong economic force and a political force. So all these things are going to reflect in the stock market, market capitalization, the kind of domestic investments, and the households in India investing in equity has really shot up in the last many years. And the households are going to benefit in wealth creation by investing in equities. So the PMS or AAF mutual funds, I think every such segments in the markets are going to grow, do well, and is going to benefit in wealth creation.
Porinju, some of the big themes that have played out over the last 12 years, one being defense. I was looking at the kind of defense exports that we do. It was extremely small and it skyrocketed, especially in the last couple of years. You've seen a very sharp increase. This is a theme. Do you believe that the kind of growth clip that's playing out with regard to defense, and I'll probably just try and pull out those numbers from where I read it, can that sustain? Can that continue? And how do you play it now? Because it's a well-discovered theme of sorts as well.
Yeah, the defense make in India theme, it's amazing. Again, we should appreciate the political leaders taking that initiative and encouraging it in a big way, helping the industry all out, which is very important for the nation, our security, our safety, and our economic safety also. See, there is no doubt we are in the infancy when it comes to defense manufacturing and consuming or exporting whatever it is. We have got huge capabilities. It's under build-up. And but at the same time, if your question is about stock market opportunities, it's not very clear. When the industry is going to go five-fold or tenfold kind of growth in the coming years, we have few listed companies. Some of them are unlisted space. Some of them are PSUs. So it's a very tricky thing. The valuation, some of those smaller companies in the catering to defense or having defense manufacturing ambitions, they are already priced in for the next 5 years. So whether to bet on this kind of valuation is not an easy question, but there are opportunities. There are many companies coming up. Many companies are getting listed with the new IPOs in the sector. So this is a very interesting sector to watch for investors. There's no doubt. But the question really, whether you can buy and this momentum of stocks will continue, I don't know. It's a very difficult question, very complex question.
Right, Porinju. So I'll just quickly mark out some numbers for viewer context on what I was speaking about. 1,500 crore is the FY27 defense export number that we saw. Currently stands at 38,000 crore, 38,500 crore, which is FY26. In FY25 as well, that number was at just 23,500 crore. You've seen a very sharp increase. Really, that's what I'm trying to capture. A 63% YOY growth compounded for the last 10 years is what we've seen in defense exports in particular. Anything else, Porinju, in terms of big themes that could play out over the next maybe 5 to 10 years, which are probably looking decently valued and not really completely picked on? What's your sense?
One sector I strongly feel, some of those IT companies which are going to leverage on the AI revolution and, what India is capable of providing services or, implementation. So there are some companies in the mid-cap segment which will take advantage of the AI revolution by playing their role, or some of them are moving fast. There are many first movers in many segments. So I think investors should watch this segment of software services, like, who will benefit with the AI boom. Otherwise, healthcare and pharmaceutical, some of them have corrected well. Some of them are moved up recently. I think again a sector which is not going to see any kind of slowdown. We will see more demand for healthcare and pharmaceutical sector.
Porinju, you have interesting picks in your portfolio. You have Aurum PropTech, you have Fratelli Vineyards, Kerala Ayurved, Geojit Fin Services, Ansal Housing. Interesting thing. Give us a sense of what goes behind, taking exposure for these stocks. What is the kind of moat behind these stocks?
Actually, these are some of the what do you call small cap stocks in my personal or proprietary portfolio, not in the fund actually. Of course, we have Geojit as a stock in our main portfolio management and AIF. Or otherwise, Aurum PropTech kind of stocks, it's like, a high risk, high reward kind of bets I have done personally. And, I love risk. So I have a habit of investing in such kind of companies. So, or it's like a startup or on PropTech because you asked me. So I have a lot of confidence on that business model, and they are building it up without much, burning of cash. And property technology is something in the infancy in the country. So it has a long way to go because property market in India is very big, whereas catering to that, the property technology has a scope. But this is a very small company. Please don't take it as any lead because you asked me, I'm just answering. It's not in my PMS or AF. I'm holding it in my family fund.
Any fresh buys, Porinju, that you've made as part of the fund over the last maybe month or two? Have you used this dip to make purchases? How much is the cash you sit on? How do you view all of the uncertainty that's playing out? Are you taking advantage of it?
We are not sitting on any cash.
Okay.
And we have not been sitting on much cash earlier also. It was a bad thing. So when we look back, it would have been nice to sit on some 15-20% cash. We always try to feel. Anyway, so I don't know, I can tell the names. Thomas Cook is a stock which has come down significantly recently. We have picked it in the fund. I think it's on a small up move after we bought recently. There are another hospital company, I don't want to mention the name. It's again a small cap. It has come down by 50-60%. So we started picking that stock. So I think there is no lack of opportunity or names, ideas in the market. There's no doubt. But general market, the broader market has corrected so well. But it's not going to be exciting market ahead also. One has to believe. In general, I don't believe the Indian markets are going to jump in a big way. Our main indices or even overall market. So very selective value picking, bottom up approach. That will work because our economy is very dynamic. New segments are coming up. New opportunities are being built. And, with a wonderful political leadership, more, policy stability is happening. And I think it's a good market. We are very, what do you say? It's not a cheap valuation. It's not an exciting valuation for any stock picker in general, I would say. But it will remain, costly market. You can't get Indian market at the PE of some of the markets what people compare nowadays because of the structural positives and the confidence of the nation. And it's something more than the numbers. The mindset has changed as a nation. We are very powerful, and we are going to be more powerful in the global arena. So all these things are to be watched by investors and monitored. And just see the recent Gulf crisis, how we managed it so well. Even though our inflation has not shot up like many other countries. It's under control. That kind of, a financial management discipline, I would say discipline, the way India managing its economy and the finances has led to this kind of a stable situation. Otherwise, there were enough challenges for us to get into trouble.
Okay, thank you so much, Porinju, for coming in and speaking to us and giving us that perspective today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And